Hello, everyone. I'm Major Garrett in Washington. Welcome to The Takeout. I know. Wake me when it's over. That, understandably, is the sentiment most Americans feel when ensnared by the paralysis and partisan strife of a government shutdown. Well, the shutdown's not over, so it's your choice. Go back to sleep, metaphorically, or you could stay riveted to incremental developments. And for what it's worth, this time it might be wise to pay attention to those incremental developments because they may be more consequential than in previous shutdowns, and here is why. The Trump administration appears poised to use this shutdown to accelerate federal workforce firings and end federal programs it dislikes, increasing pain, it says, on Democratic constituencies and casting blame, if it can, precisely in that direction.
Well, there could be firings, and that's their fault. And it could also be other things. I mean, we could cut projects that they wanted, favorite projects, and they'd be permanently cut.
Layoffs could be in the thousands, more if the shutdown drags on. Senate votes tomorrow. Congress is not voting today in observance of Yom Kippur. Will be closely watched for signs of Democratic disunity. If tomorrow's votes follow the current pattern, this shutdown, Republicans and Democrats now privately predict, could last for another full week, possibly longer. In the interim, here's a sampling of today's rhetorical flourishes.
The president takes no pleasure in this. The president did not want a shutdown. I'm telling you this from my own testimony. I was in the Oval Office. He pleaded with Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries to do the right thing. Keep the government open. We'll talk about all these other issues later because that's how the process works.
We're ready to negotiate. We have had now 3 months. We've been begging the Republicans to come to the table and negotiate. You know how many negotiations there have been? 0. And the Republicans are saying they won't negotiate when there's not a shutdown. They won't negotiate when there is a shutdown. So far, they won't negotiate at all. We are only fighting not to expand the money that's spent on health care, just to roll back the cuts.
Democrats have voted for the clean continuing resolution that Republicans introduced 13 times in the past. 13 times. They voted for it as recently as March. And now all of a sudden they are shutting the government down and they are holding our country hostage over a partisan political matter that the vast majority of the country disagrees with.
The president met today with his Office of Management and Budget Director, you see him there, Russ Vought, for advice about layoffs and federal program elimination. On social media, Trump described Vought as being of Project 2025 fame. You might remember during the 2024 campaign, Democrats tried to make Project 2025 a governing manifesto drafted by the Conservative Heritage Foundation, not famous, but infamous. In his one debate with Kamala Harris, Trump played off Project 2025, which now, of course, courses through his administration in both personnel and policy, as something akin to a doorstop or a paperweight.
I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference.
It makes a difference now and may define how this shutdown differs from those that came before. We begin with Olivia Rinaldi here with me at the family table. Olivia, what can you tell us about the conversations at the White House today and what may come in terms of either program eliminations or layoffs?
Well, what's interesting about this was President Trump broadcasting that he was meeting with Russ Vought, because you would think that would be a conversation you'd have in private, one of, here's what we're planning to do, here's what we're plotting, who's going to let go. Instead, the president is publicly taunting the Democrats, saying, if you want this shutdown,
and trying to scare them, it appears. Scaring
them, saying, and he wrote on True Social, I can't believe they're giving me this opportunity. That's how they're viewing this, to carry out that sweeping agenda like we talked about with Project 2025. So what could be at stake? The EPA, which is having significant furloughs. Department of Education, significant furloughs. We already know that the U.S. Patent and Trade Office is facing a reduction in force. So that's what's key over the next 24 hours, especially as the Senate seems to vote on that bill when they come back. We'll see what goes on with that. It seems likely that the shutdown is going to continue through the weekend into next week. But over the next 24 hours, we could potentially see who is actually going to be impacted by those massive layoffs that they're talking about. You heard Caroline Leavitt. It's in the thousands.
Right. And the terminology matters here because a furlough differs from a firing. Reduction in force, meaning it's permanent.
Yes.
Furlough, you might be back, you might not. And they're looking at, in some instances, straight up firings.
Yes, that seems to be what they're looking at, is that they are going to have mass reductions in force. This is particularly on top of what we've seen already with DOGE, but this could increase. Thousands of people being laid off because of these reduction in forces as they're taking advantage of wielding executive power in this shutdown. We've already heard from members of Congress, Speaker Johnson saying that they believe the president is given more power during a shutdown. The executive grows stronger, if you could believe it, as this has been an ongoing negotiation of this Trump administration. How much power does the presidency have? They're willing to test it out in this shutdown.
Willing to test it out. That's why this one could be very much different. Olivia Rinaldi, thank you so very much.